Thank you guys for coming today. This is the first in a series of brown bag lunches that students are going to do, talking about some of the cool things that we do outside of our classrooms. So I'm Mary Brett Koplen. I am a senior English major. And this summer I was in Israel for 10 weeks, traveling a little bit, but mostly studying at a school called Pardes Institute. Now that I'm back, I would sort of divide my trip into three kind of core parts. There's like the big family life cycle event of my sister's wedding, and then there was my very intense studying at Pardes, and then there was a time that, knowing that I was going to be in class for 8 weeks total of 8:30 to 5:30 every day, I gave myself an allotted amount of time to kind of travel and like just do what I needed to do. My sister moved to Israel about a year ago, a little over a year ago, and I hadn't seen her since then. We've been living in 2 different countries, and my family is, we're all very modern, we're liberal Jews, we all have very strong Jewish identities, but we identify in a very different way than she does. And she identifies as Haredi, which in America is often called ultra-Orthodox. When I went to Israel, I wanted to be able to know more, and I wanted to be able to like help her with her wedding and have meaningful conversations. And so I actually approached the dean and Rabbi Danielle, and thus my, what do we call it, Gender and Sexuality in Judaism tutorial was born. I went to Jerusalem, and I was with my sister in her very religious community. And I thought for the first time in my life, I had enough knowledge and vocabulary to really have a conversation with her about where she was in her life. You know, my family didn't have the same vocabulary that I had spent 10 weeks learning here, and they weren't able to have the same conversation. So I was kind of able to be this intermediary. So my sister got married and my family was here, and then my family went home. And then I started my 8:30 to 5:30 classes. I show up in this Talmud class, and everybody knows Hebrew, at least somewhat. And my professor is saying, okay, like, what are your Hebrew levels? Like, can I teach this class in Hebrew? Do I need to teach it in English? And so, you know, I say, I haven't studied. I remember some stuff from my bat mitzvah, some stuff from, you know, just being a Jewish person who really enjoys going to services. And he, like a lot of professors might say to you, said, you probably shouldn't be in this class. There are other classes. But I really wanted to learn Talmud, and our final project for Talmud was this book that's going around. Our final project was that we had to take a page of that and teach something from that page. So I left Jerusalem, and I went to Tel Aviv and slept in a tent for a week, which is not as strange as you may think, because there's this huge tent protest, which is kind of wrapping up a little bit with it not being summer anymore. But it started as a reaction to the high cost of living in Israel. There was one night I was sitting in Tent City, and it was actually really near this place. And I was with a friend, and he was playing guitar. And all of these people kind of like started joining us. And I looked around, and I noticed how different everyone was. And, you know, we were Americans, and there were secular Israelis, and then these African refugees, which there's a huge population of African refugees in Tel Aviv. And we had this really great evening of all of these different people together. And there are all of these cultures, and all of these religions, and all of these different types of people represented, and sometimes it feels like they're just in such opposite parts of the world, even though they're geographically in this very same place. But every once in a while, you have these moments where you're sitting by a tent in Tel Aviv, and there's a guitar, and everyone is just having a great conversation. And that's really what we wanted to bring to you. So thank you all so much for coming.